You're scrolling late at night. Every sensible bone in your body screams, watch something fluffy, a cat video, a perfectly baked sourdough tutorial. But what do you click? The cold case, the serial killer documentary, the forensic deep dive into a crime that happened 30 years ago in a town you've never even heard of. Why? Are you secretly a sociopath? Probably not. Probably. But if you think you just enjoy a good scare, you're only scratching the surface. The real reason we're all so obsessed with true crime is way stranger, and honestly, a little embarrassing for our supposedly evolved brains. It turns out your brain isn't just looking for a thrill, it's looking for a masterclass in survival, a logic puzzle, and maybe, just maybe, a reassuring pat on the head that says, hey, at least you're not that guy. We're not just passive observers, we're engaging in a complex subconscious tango with our deepest fears and desires, and trust me, it's not what you think. First up, let's be honest, you're an armchair detective, aren't you? Don't deny it. You see the evidence, the timelines, the witness statements, and your brain immediately switches into puzzle-solving mode. True crime isn't just entertainment, it's the ultimate real-life whodunit. We crave order. We need patterns. And when chaos strikes, like a senseless murder or a baffling disappearance, our primal instinct kicks in. Figure it out. It's why cases like the Zodiac Killer or John Benet Ramsey still captivate us decades later. We pick apart alibis, we scrutinize maps, we connect dots that aren't even there, all from the safety of our couch. We're all basically Sherlock Holmes with a better snack selection and significantly less cocaine. This isn't just about morbid curiosity, it's about cognitive engagement. It scratches that deeply satisfying itch to solve a problem, to untangle a knot, to prove we're smarter than the person who left the crucial clue right there. You want to be the one who finally sees it, don't you? Then there's the whole self-preservation seminar aspect. Let's face it, true crime documentaries are basically extreme survival guides dressed up as entertainment. You watch Don't Fuck with Cats, and suddenly you're double-checking your social media privacy settings. You binge a series about a home invasion, and now you're eyeing every unfamiliar car on your street like it's a suspicious character from a police lineup. Your brain, in its infinite wisdom, sees these stories as a free training on how not to get murdered 101. We learn about red flags, about modus operandi, about the subtle dangers lurking in plain sight. It's a simulation, a controlled exposure to threat, allowing us to mentally rehearse escape plans or preventative measures without actually being in harm's way. We absorb these lessons like sponges, even if we never consciously admit it. It's the same reason we practice fire drills. Our subconscious is just screaming, better safe than sorry, or, a cold case file. And speaking of safety, let's talk about the delicious feeling of being not them. There's a subtle, almost guilt-inducing satisfaction in knowing you're safe, warm, and definitely not the victim in that chilling tale playing out on your screen. This is called normalcy bias, and it's basically our brain's way of saying, phew, not me, everything's still okay in my world. We watch these stories of shattered lives and devastating loss, and while we empathize, there's a tiny, dark corner of our minds exhaling a sigh of relief. It's human nature to compare, and in the grim world of true crime, we're almost always the winner by default. This isn't about being heartless, it's a psychological mechanism for self-reassurance, a reminder that our own lives, for all their mundane struggles, are still pretty great compared to that. Now, let's dig into the primal desire for justice. Our species is hardwired for fairness. When a crime is committed, especially a heinous one, it violates our deepest sense of moral order. True crime often focuses on the pursuit of justice, whether it's the detective painstakingly piecing together clues, the prosecutor building an airtight case, or the families fighting for answers. When justice is served, even years later, it provides a cathartic release. We feel a vicarious sense of satisfaction, a belief that the scales of justice, however slowly, can still tip back towards balance. And when justice isn't served, that's where the shared enemy comes in. We rail against the corrupt systems, the incompetent investigators, the loopholes in the law. We become united in our frustration, solidifying an us versus them dynamic against the forces that allow evil to thrive or go unpunished. It validates our own moral compass, making us feel like part of a larger, righteous collective. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. True crime offers a peek behind the curtain of human darkness, allowing us to grapple with the inexplicable. Why would someone do that? What drives a person to such depravity? We're not just looking at the what, but obsessing over the why. It's an exploration of the absolute limits of human behavior, both good and evil. We try to understand the perpetrators, not to condone their actions, but to somehow make sense of the senseless. This act of seeking understanding, however grim, is an act of empathy. It's an attempt to grasp the full spectrum of the human condition, even its most terrifying aspects. It allows us to confront our own capacity for darkness, or at least acknowledge its existence in a safe, controlled environment. You're basically a psychological anthropologist, delving into the murky depths of the human mind without needing a degree or a really thick accent. And let's not forget the sheer, unadulterated thrill. It's a roller coaster for your brain, but one where you're always strapped in securely. Your heart races, your palms sweat, you jump at every sudden sound, all the physical manifestations of fear without any actual danger. It's controlled fear, like a horror movie, but with real-world stakes, which makes it infinitely more compelling. This adrenaline rush, followed by the relief of safety, is a potent cocktail. It's like skydiving without actually jumping out of a plane. Your brain releases dopamine and endorphins as a reward for facing down danger, even if that danger is just a particularly grainy crime scene photo. It's a high, pure and simple, and we keep coming back for more. And finally, and perhaps most unexpectedly, true crime fosters community. Think about it. Podcasts, YouTube channels, subreddits, Facebook groups, entire digital ecosystems dedicated to dissecting cases, sharing theories, and mourning victims. When you watch that documentary, you're not just alone in your living room, you're part of a vast global audience grappling with the same questions, feeling the same outrage, and experiencing the same morbid fascination. It's a shared experience that creates a unique bond, a sense of collective understanding around the darker aspects of life. It validates our feelings, makes us feel less alone in our fascination, and even provides a platform for crowdsourced insights. You can literally discuss the merits of a piece of forensic evidence with someone across the globe, all thanks to some terrible act committed years ago. It's a strange, macabre form of social glue. So, when you next click play on that chilling documentary, remember this. You're not just a passive consumer of gore. You're an active participant in an ancient human ritual. You're a problem solver, a survivalist, a moral guardian, an empath, a thrill seeker, and a community builder, all rolled into a slightly terrifying, true crime-addicted package. You're seeking control, meaning-making, and reinforcing your belief in order in a chaotic world, even when that order is utterly shattered. It's a primal, almost ritualistic engagement with the boundary of chaos and order, reaffirming your own sense of agency and safety. So, when you next click play on that chilling documentary, knowing all this, does it change why you watch? Or maybe how you feel about watching? Let me know in the comments below. And if you picked up some unexpected insights today, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the weird and wonderful corners of the human psyche.